Welcoming to the program, I would say you're the best friend of the program.
Oh yeah, after
Stanford
last week,
Steve.
I bet I am.
Oh yeah, after last week. I'm glad you brought that up. What happened last week, Steve?
The old donut, buddy. Saw it coming a mile away. You know how bad my NFL picks are. It's a catastrophe. I've tried a theme thing. Last week, I had my Bills weren't playing. They played and covered and won again. But I couldn't take them because we were doing the show, holiday wise.
Timing.
You know what? No.
Blame it on the show. Blame it on the show.
No fucking excuses. I suck. All right.
And what did the tease God do real quick? Because I got to bask in the glory when I have it.
You went like old 6-0, right?
Yeah, there were a couple zeros in the records, baby.
Feels good, don't it?
Yeah, it feels
How good you feel.
It feels good. Quickly to be brought back down to earth by uncharacteristically losing a teaser on the Thursday night game and also betting on Virginia at Purdue.
Oh, we gotta.
In basketball.
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about the hoops.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good
squad.
thing. Let's just move on to football because there's nothing really to talk about with basketball this week.
Just try looking at the basketball hoop when you guys are running offense.
That'd be good. I mean, we're so maybe distracted by the big ass banner that says, "Well, we don't have that at Purdue," but you get the idea. We got UNC Sunday. I think we get right at home.
Yeah, I got a great trivia question for you at the end of this hit.
Chances are I'm not going to get it. Hopefully, it's not an embarrassing.
It's not a trivia question. It's an either or.
Don't make it easy. Don't make it too easy because if I don't get it, I'd be embarrassed.
Okay.
Got it. So let's start with college football. First off, wait, where are you? Because you are at a college football event.
Yep, just got checked into my hotel room. I'm in Indianapolis, one of my favorite spots for an event.
Really?
Van Pelt is on. What's that?
Nap City.
Hell yeah.
Why does Nap City get a bad rap?
I'll fight those people. I
Really?
love this place. It's the best one. I shouldn't say it's not the best. We know New Orleans is where we first met, and you first showed declining athleticism is the best place for an event. But Indianapolis, you walk everywhere. I can't wait. I'm going to get a big old steak at St. Elmo's tonight.
Yep.
Trying to find somebody that could do the trick of the shrimp cocktail sauce with. But like I said, Van Pelt's on Saturday night after the ACC game. Herb Street's doing the Pac-12 game. Going to do game day in Atlanta, and then he's coming here to watch his alma mater. So he's going to be on live with Van Pelt Saturday night. It's our annual show where, for the last couple of years, there hasn't been shit to talk about because it's all been settled. But I'm hoping we get some chaos here, and we have some people tuning in to watch and see what Reese Davis and Herbie and winning coaches, come on to beg to get into that playoff spot. So it's usually a really fun show. All the favorites keep winning it on this weekend. It's a tough sell, but we're hoping for crazy things this weekend.
So because there's a lot of big lines this weekend. I don't know if that's par for the course or, I haven't tracked them over the years, but these seem big. I mean, namely Virginia, Wisconsin, big
I actually
dogs.
have a great stat about that.
Okay.
This weekend in the 10 conference championship games, there is not one point spread of 4 points or less. Everyone is over 4 points. Since the playoff era, which is 2014, 2015, the favorites that are giving more than 4 points on this weekend are 29-0 straight up. So that just tells you we haven't gotten the upsets. And
oh boy.
I just feel like we're due. We're due.
I feel, I have to feel like we're due as well. Now, let me ask you this. What is the most chaotic scenario for the playoff?
They all lose.
Yeah, all the favorites.
Yeah, Oklahoma loses, Utah loses, Georgia loses, and Baylor's sitting there, which isn't really the brand team, but they're going to be a one-loss conference champion, and that's what we haven't had in this run in the playoff era. We've always, that's how Alabama backed in 2 years ago. Because every conference champion had 2 or 3 losses, and there they were with 1 loss. So it's possible, and it's just crazy the way it goes. Like I looked at the Big 12 game, and I want to wait to think about betting that game because I think Oklahoma comes out differently depending on what happens in the Pac-12
tonight,
game
right?
Friday night.
Yeah. They might have to pour it on, or they might not.
Yeah, it's a lot of scenarios. So that game exclusively, the Big 12 game, I don't want to touch until tomorrow, and I know what's going on from what happens in Santa Clara tonight.
I agree with you there. Is if you had a dream 1 through 4 with the matchups, what's your dream matchup on either side?
I think LSU deserves the 1 seed if they win. They have the best resume. They have the best win of the season at Alabama. What I want to see is Clemson playing Ohio State in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm worried we might not get that game, and that game would be freaking fantastic.
Yes.
So, I mean,
it'd be as good. It'd be as good a first game out of the playoff as I can remember.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. Probably since the first year when we got Ohio State upsetting Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, and then Zeke and those guys rolling through it with 12 gauge.
Now playing,
and they won it.
Now playing major hypothetical. Let's say it's Utah or it's Oklahoma. Those are the two wild cards that probably have the best shot in order. It would seem at this point to see LSU. Who's got a better chance and why?
Oof, that's a good one. See, I think Utah matches up better with Ohio State. I would probably have to say Oklahoma matches up better with LSU because, I mean, I've called LSU this offense the whole season. Their foot's on the gas the whole game. Mm-hmm. They don't stop. And like Georgia this weekend, I think it's a win if they hold LSU to 28 points. I think that's a damn good effort by their defense if they could do that.
Yeah.
So I would think Oklahoma with their offense would match up better with LSU.
It'd be probably more watchable as well. Which
yeah, I mean, Utah's just different. Like they got 11 war dogs up front that they run through. They rotate 11 guys. Watch them tonight. It's incredible, and that helps obviously their secondary, which was inexperienced coming into this season. So they've got pressure with any amount of guys they send.
Yeah.
But the offense, they haven't played from behind much this season. The only time they did, they lost to USC, so that worries me when they have the ball. So I would just have to trust Lincoln Riley with some time to prepare that he could strike something up.
Well, let's say Utah sees LSU. How does Utah's defense stack up against the elites of the SEC?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They're not going to be intimidated. Kyle Whittingham's the most underrated coach in college football.
From a distance, I think he seems super cool, dude. He's like a real deal guy.
He's a crazy, like, Trevor Maddich that does work for us. Back in the day in that BYU national championship team, Trevor Maddich was the center and Kyle Whittingham was the nose guard. And those guys went at – that's back in the day, when
that was AstroTurf, mustaches, white foam, neck rolls,
half shirts,
pad monsters. Yeah, I looked up Whittingham's picture, and this guy looks younger now than he did back in the day. He looked like a dude who just walked out of a honky tonk and hopped back into his 18-wheeler to take a nap for the night. Absolutely. I mean, like that's what he looked like in college.
We asked Trevor Maddich, and that's how we got to the conversation. This was, Russillo and I were working with him over 11 years ago. And he said, like, Charlie Strong was in the mix, all these coaches. And Trevor was like, if there was a steel cage match of all Division I coaches, Kyle Whittingham would come out of that, no doubt about it.
Nice.
So what's crazy is, like, when the guy comes to ESPN for interviews, he's so soft-spoken. We had to, like, boost the levels on the mic times like no one I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
For interviews. So he's obviously got a wild man approach behind the closed doors, and he does a great job of never showing that, which I think is awesome because you could tell his team plays their asses off for him. So I think that mentality, I think it's like close to 10 years. They went to the Sugar Bowl when Bama and whipped Saban's ass in the Sugar Bowl with a Utah team that wasn't thought to. So they're good at the underdog role. I worry about their skill set on the perimeter. Yeah. They don't have any breakaway guys on offense, and their corners, like I said, they were inexperienced. It's a whole different level, man. Trying to hold up against LSU.
Can that defense compete with maybe not a Georgia defensively, but some of the other top
Absolutely.
tier? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. They got the talent. They have the talent and they have the scheme. They do a great job scheming with what the guys they have. Like I said, the guys up front, it's incredible. You never know who's on the field.
Got it. Okay, well there's some hope there for at least a competitive football game, or relatively competitive. One last question before we move on to the picks. I know that's the main point of this segment, but I love hearing you talk college football in general. When you have these coaches on who are making their cases or pleading their cases very transparently for their teams to be in the playoff, is that annoying, or is that like part of the showmanship nowadays?
Well, it's pretty funny. It's pretty damn funny to me, Chris, because everybody always gets mad at coach speak, and this is the ultimate no coach speak. Like, these guys are on the table trying to sell themselves, and it's the ultimate recruiting pitch. It's great to see these guys out of their norm. I mean, we had Kirby Smart drive from last year after he calls that awful fake punt. They blow the game to Georgia. He drives back to campus. He's got his Georgia golf shirt on. They put the mic. They don't even put it underneath his shirt. He's still sweating. He's got the microphone just hanging like by his shirt, talking about how much he loves his team and they deserve another chance. And he took the blame for the game. Like, it's just stuff. We had Saban calling on the phone 2 years ago. Urban Meyer, Urban's game ended and we played Saban's soundbite for Urban, and he's just sitting there laughing. Yeah. So it's good stuff because you don't see it every day. It's
become like the game within the game, and in a world of Ashley Schaefers, as I would call them, used car salesmen. It's always funny to see them try to out used car salesmen each other. Let's start with college football slate since we're on it. I'll go quickly with mine. I like LSU giving a touchdown. I don't think Georgia can keep up. That pure and simple. I think Burrow with the EAUX. He's a man of destiny. I really believe there's something magical going on there, and I don't think they're looking ahead. I think because it is the SEC championship game, it's a big fucking deal, and I think they get after him.
Yeah, the issue I have there, and when earlier this week it was 7.5, and Chris Felica and I do a podcast earlier in the week, so the numbers obviously change and stuff happens. I like Georgia getting more than a touchdown because they match up with LSU in areas where you need to. Georgia has a really good offensive line. LSU does not have a good defensive line. So in order to keep the ball away from that LSU offense, I like Georgia's chances there. And Georgia didn't play Bama. The next best set of receivers they saw was Florida, who was really, I think they have a really above average group of receivers. Georgia played those dudes man up, and they really got after them, and they were able to do, how it is. You get extra guys in the box. You could do things with your safeties, but they played a man up on the outside now, and I think Georgia could do that. Plus, Kirby had an awesome game plan and really was the first guy to hit Tua last year and get that Alabama offense off keel a little bit. So I'm not doubting. I just, like you said, I don't think they can hold up the whole game. But, I mean, it's an SEC title game. Those guys, they know each other from everywhere, playing in high school, all showcases and all that. So every year, whoever's from ESPN comes back from that game and say that's the loudest dome they've been in all year.
It's the least confident of my picks, and congratulations, you just completely shit on it. I also like Utah giving 6.5.
No, but you got a good number.
The number's good.
More than a touchdown.
The number's good. Yeah, I like Utah giving 6.5. This is my favorite. I've enjoyed watching Utah this year. I don't believe in Oregon. I think that with everything on the line, with the coach they have, with the mentality, the physicality, with Moss pounding the rock and controlling that clock, it's just going to be one of those Darth Vader things. Like they're just gonna choke the air out of them slowly. And I think this game gets out of hand. Maybe it's a 10-point win, maybe it's a 14-point win, but it just bleeds out slow and they cover.
Yeah, weather could be an issue here because it rains every freaking day after December. Going to school out there, it sucks. But the one thing that worries me is I'm a homer for the Pac-12 Conference of Champions, and every time they get a team to this stage, stage,
they choke.
They just peed on their leg. I mean, you saw it a couple of weeks ago. Oregon down in Tempe, ABC national TV. They play their worst game of the year.
Is it? So, well, that's Oregon, though.
No, you're right. You're right. Utah, I hope this is a different animal.
Utah doesn't feel like a Pac. It's a Pac-12 school, but I'm never going to think of it not as that hardy Mountain West football.
Yeah.
I mean, like I just have that. I don't associate them with a Cal or one of these Pac-12 after dark games where it just gets. I mean, these guys know what they do and they do it well, and I see it being a Darth Vader thing where slowly but surely Oregon gets the life choked out of them, and I think Utah rolls by 2 scores. This is one that I feel very good about, Steve, and that's UVA getting 28.5 points. I'll tell you why. Clemson hasn't beaten a top 25 team. That is what we are right now. We're definitely better than the last 2 teams that they played in the ACC championship in Pitt and Miami, which, by the way, combined score of those games was 80-13. I think time of possession's key. We're going to need to lean on Bryce. We lead the ACC in time of possession, keep the ball away. I think our pass rush gets after them more than you think. I know the O-line's been kind of a strength, but our pass rush comes in waves, and I think we can make Lawrence look human a little bit.
Okay. I have a stat for you.
I know you're holding this stat, yeah.
All right, the poll era is from 1936. That's when they started using poll, to rank the teams and stuff. 1936.
Yeah.
All right. Clemson has won its last 6 games by 35 points or more.
Yeah.
They are the only team in the poll era to win by that much in 6 straight games.
Good for them.
And
outlier.
Your defense has not played well. You've been giving up a lot of points. What is it, 28 over your last 4? Now you're averaging 41. I like the over.
I would have took the over just as but you took the over, so you called claim to the over. I'll take Virginia at 28.5, but I like the over as well.
I honestly, I know you don't want to hear this at all, and as players, you hate hearing it. I honestly worry about how much Virginia has in the tank, man.
Right.
They expended a lot of energy in that game. I mean, that's a tough thing to come back. And you got Mad Dabo. I talked about LSU, being that foot on the gas offense. I'm worried Clemson's going to have 2 feet on the gas here.
Good for them.
So it's a hold your butts game. So I always want to see a good game. You guys are wearing the all-white Stormtroopers.
Yeah, that bodes well.
Let's go.
Yeah. Your boy's going to be in the house. Not that makes a difference.
Said, you're playing with house money.
But listen,
so why not? Ride the lightning.
Here's a next gen stat for you. When your boy is at Scott Stadium, or in attendance for the Commonwealth Cup game, we're 1-0 since 2000. I mean,
is that Scott because of the tissue paper?
What do you mean?
Toilet paper?
No, Scott State. No, it's a rich guy named Scott.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it's not the toilet paper. But all I'm saying is, when your boy goes to games, things go well. All I had to do my entire NFL career was go to a game, and that streak was going to be snapped. I mean, I want to give all the credit to Bryce Perkins. I mean, he's up there with Anthony Poindexter to me now.
No, you said last week he was going to be number 1.
He's number 1 for now. Recency bias.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, when your boy is in the house, I'm just saying. So what do you got on the slate?
I like the over. I think Virginia gets a little, enough to get that. It's a low number for me. I just feel like this teams can go up and down. They haven't played each other. It's one of the few non-rematches.
What is that number at right now?
When I had it was 55.5, 56.5, right there.
But today,
right around there.
What is it today, Cowboy Reed? Cowboy Reed's going to get that for us to make sure we are honest with the lines.
Oh boy, here we go. I already got screwed earlier in the year.
I know. Arizona. I remember it well.
I'm here, and I look at rematches as an opportunity again for the underdog. I always lean to the underdog.
Right.
I look at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I look at 2 things. Last week they played with their hair on fire, had an unbelievable game plan, throwing the ball down the field in the middle of a snowstorm and in a real tough atmosphere in Minnesota. Fake. They call it a reverse on a kickoff return. Like they just let it all out. So I like how they're coming. Their corners played absolutely outstanding too. Just making plays on ball on 2 receivers that I believe Minnesota has that are NFL guys. I also like the fact last week Michigan totally took Chase Young out of the game.
Yeah.
And I think Wisconsin's offensive line is better than Michigan's. So I think with a second chance, I think Chris is a really, really good, like a technical guy up front that does really good stuff, mixing zone schemes with power schemes. They have 2 good running backs. I think they could throw the ball to the backside of the backfield maybe to get Taylor going because Ohio State just swarmed them that first game in bad weather. in Columbus. So I'm going to take the 16.5 here with the Badgers. The only thing that worries me is Ohio State is probably the fastest team looking on TV, and now they're indoors on turf. So that scares me. And I'm going to be on the sidelines. So that could be a live bet.
Yeah, you
the
might
other
just
way.
be mushing it, just being in
So,
there.
Yeah.
But you're using the empty the tank rule against Virginia, but not against Wisconsin. I don't. They emptied the tank.
They were up 41-10, bro.
Yeah.
They cruised.
Yeah.
They cruised. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you said
they're not getting off the. And then I look at FAU. Obviously, all this talk about Lane Kiffin.
I don't look at FAU. I never do. So this is why you're the best.
All right. FAU. UAB is one of the best stories in the sport the last 4 or 5 years. Obviously, they disbanded the program. Coach Clark gets them back. But the only reason they're in this game is because Louisiana Tech suspended their 5 best offensive players the last 3 weeks, and North Texas threw 2 picks in the red zone, 1 in the end zone last week, and they're not a good football team. And UAB won that game, so then they won that side of Conference USA. So I think FAU, they're home. Kiffin's got a really good offense. They got an awesome tight end, Bryant, and the kid number 40, who's a stud. He's going to be a difference maker at the next level. Kiffin could score points. I just don't think UAB has enough to hold up. I'll lay the 7.5 with the Owls out in Boca Raton.
In Boca, you have FAU 7.5, you have Wisconsin 16.5, and you have the mystery number, which we'll get in a second on the over on Virginia Clemson, which I think regardless of what it is, it's going to hit the over. I agree with you. You want to roll through your NFL slate real quick, and I'll get to mine?
Yeah, I think the Steelers' run comes to a little bit of an end here. I'll take the Cardinals plus 2.5 at home. I got to get back on my Bills. I think there's 2 games. I like. How good was that Ravens-Niners game last week? That was really good.
It was very entertaining. It was very entertaining.
I really think those 2 teams are still feeling some lumps. What are we at, Friday now?
I agree with you.
They're just getting back to normal. So the Ravens going up to Buffalo. This is the Bills' Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
This is. They don't get this opportunity, in the national spotlight a lot. So I think that defense,
unless it is an actual Super Bowl, and then what happens?
Well, it's been a while. I'm talking about in a home game.
Yeah,
they, Bills Mafia, we love.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be dildos on the field. There's gonna be batteries hitting Quicks buses. There's gonna be people slamming through tables, women, children, the whole 9 yards.
So I like the Bills plus 6. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I think they can keep that within a touchdown. And then the other side of that Ravens-Niners game. I wanted to ask you about this if you have time or not. But the Niners go from Baltimore and then they spend the week down in Florida. What do guys do?
So what they did is
they go to the library.
No, I think it's a great idea. You spend it's good for the team. It's good for your body. It's good for the rest because there's nothing worse than going cross country and back cross country again. We've done it before. We stayed out in Orange County. And when you're coming from Philly, we played Seattle, and then we played L.A., and we stayed in they usually put you somewhere where there's no trouble, which is hard to find in California or Florida, but they find a way. And you basically practice at we practiced.
JUCO?
Jeffrey Lurie spares no expense. We practiced at the, I want to say it was the Angels Stadium, which was really nice. We were practicing at the Angels baseball stadium in their locker room. We had, access to everything.
Because Trout came up there and stuff, right?
It was very cool, and I think it'd just be good for the team. So I think it's a good move for them. I would definitely love the Saints if the Niners had gone back out west and come.
Yeah.
Now my problem with that game, real quick, is that Drew Brees has a dirty secret. At home in December, he's just above 500. So it's not what I expected as I look at that. And then also, New Orleans hasn't faced a team with a winning record since Week 4. In Dallas at that point. And that game went under big time, which is why I like the under, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I like the Saints. It's down to 2.5 now. Like I said, that coming off that Ravens game, I just think it's a lot to ask to get back up. And I think the Saints, you mentioned they haven't played against a good team. They're chomping at the bit, man.
Yeah.
That dome's gonna be rocking. And I still think they're in the discussion for the best team in the NFC. And it just feels like, all this Niner talk and obviously Russell
I
Wilson
think they
doing his thing.
are. I think they are the best team in the NFC.
You do? Okay.
I thought all year long, and then they had that dip. I mean, because they lost, hate week against the Falcons, and they've looked a little bit, sluggish lately. But when you talk about, now throw everything I just said out the window about Drew Brees at home in December, because it runs counter to what I'm saying. But late in the year, I trust Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and they're one of the most balanced teams in the league. So
that's what I was going to say. I love the balance and the versatility they have on defense too.
Yeah,
I really like it. So I'll give the 2.5 there.
They got a little Patriots in them where they can morph into what they need to do to win, which is great. They look a lot more like an old Patriots team from the early 2000s than a Saints team from back in the day, or even a Saints team from the past few years. So, what else do you like on the Sunday slate?
That's it. I got Cardinals, Bills, Saints.
Cardinals, Bills, Saints. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. That's 3.
That's 3.
I got the Titans -2.5. This is my new favorite team, not named the Philadelphia Eagles. Ryan Tannehill, who I used to not like at all. Now I love him. I mean, the Titans need this game. They're given 2.5. I also lean the over for what it's worth at 47.5. The Titans need the game. They have the toughest strength of schedule remaining at like 667. They got to play the Saints still, the Texans twice. So this is a must-win for them, and they know that. This isn't a look ahead. It's a must-win. The Raiders are limping out of 2 blowout losses. I guess it was Kansas City most recently, and then the Jets as well. Tennessee is 5-1 against the spread the last 6. Oakland is 7-1 straight up at home the last 8, and Oakland's also 3-1 straight up and against the spread as home dogs this year. So whatever the fuck those numbers mean, I don't care, because Ryan Tannehill is here, and since he entered the picture, they've been scoring about 30 points a game, which is why you got to like the over. And Tennessee's pass defense is like 27th in the league. The points are gonna come, in bunches this Sunday, but I still like the Titans more. Both quarterbacks are undefeated against the respective opposing franchises, which is very interesting. And I think this is a big streak breaker for them, because they haven't been great over the past 17 games that Tennessee didn't cover. They were like 2-15 over the past 17 times they didn't cover on the road. So listen, pound it with Henry. Every time they're over 84 yards with Henry, they're 6-0. They're 1-5 otherwise. I think I like the Titans in a must win. I think the Raiders are coming back down to earth. That's my thing, is like, we gave them a lot of credit because we overcorrected for giving them a bunch of shit. And that's fine. You can give them credit for building something a lot quicker than we thought they'd build it. But you don't have to get carried away and say they're going to win the AFC West. I mean, they're still alive, but it ain't going to happen. I like Green Bay giving 12.5 for the simple fact, besides the fact that Washington's on a 2-game heater and it's got to stop. When Aaron Rodgers says, and I quote, "We need that crowd as loud as possible. Get out there, get the tailgate going, get the PBR flowing," or the Leanies. Do you know what that beer is? It must be
Leinies. Kugels.
Yeah, Kugel. Yeah, shit's
summer shandy.
That shit's disgusting.
I love it.
Or the Miller, or whatever you choose, and let's get that thing roaring from kickoff. Is
he looking for a sponsorship deal?
I don't think he is. I just think he's trying to say, this is a game where we need to build momentum. We've been kind of we had the rough game against the Niners recently. It was a bit of a struggle on the road. In New York. This is a game where they get well, and Aaron Rodgers gets well at home. I think Dwayne Haskins is going to hear a lot of that go, Pack, go. Bunch of drunk white guys drinking Kugels. It's going to be out of control up there. It's fucking probably cold. I didn't even check the weather. 12.5. The line has moved a little bit, towards the center line. And for me, I'm good with Green Bay giving a bunch of points. Saints under as well. I mentioned that earlier. I think when you look at Saints in big games that they play at home, a lot of them have been under type games. You look at the Cowboys the last two years in that big NFC at home matchup. They've both been 13-10 type games. I could see this one being a 21-16 type game. I think we hit the under here at 44.5. So those are my 3. And I just got the totals on the season. Didn't plan this out, okay? You ready?
I'm trying to make sure this connection's okay.
Yeah, do you want me to say it off when you get off
Go
Skype?
ahead. Go ahead.
Chris, total 26-10.
What?
Unless Cowboy Reed fucked it up. You didn't fuck it up, did you? Listen, Guy's got a degree. I don't hire people without degrees. He was a math major. Maybe.
26 and 10.
Well, here's where I've been good. I've been good both places. College, I'm 13-5. Pros, I'm 13-5.
I got to go back and check the tape here.
We're going to go back and check the tape. You know what you're
all right.
I don't want to tell you your total because you're better than me at this. But right now, it's the third quarter, and you came out of the halftime, and I'm punching you in the mouth. You need a big fourth quarter is all I'm saying.
I know.
You're 13-19-4. Now, keep in mind that you went 0-6.
Three of those pushes are wins.
3 of those pushes are wins. Okay. So I'll be benevolent, and on the record, I'll give you your Reed's changing it right now on the big board. You are now 16-19-1. Congratulations. And I am 26-10.
Look at you. You can't stop smiling.
You have been bad. You have been bad in the pros.
I'm awful. Awful.
It's okay. We can work on that.
All right.
Hey, dude. I hope you're dead wrong about UVA.
Speaking of. All right, here's your question.
Yeah.
Who scores more against Virginia this weekend? Clemson football or North Carolina basketball?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's going to be North Carolina basketball. I think we're going to give up about 63 points to North Carolina. I haven't even looked at what
Carolina only scored like 47 the other night against Ohio State, so I would take Clemson.
Oh, really?
No,
you're taking Clemson?
Yeah.
Because how many points do you think Clemson's going to score on us?
Double nickel.
Fuck me. Well, that means we just got to score 56. Hey,
you need to have double nickel beers.
Yeah,
I am
going to have double nickel beers. I'm going down with 5 teammates. My wonderful wife, Meg, who I love very much. I even was like, Meg, this should be a couples thing. We should go down. And she's like, hey, your buddies are going down. Why don't you head down there and enjoy yourself? You deserve it. So I want to shout out my wife, Meg, who's awesome.
Good job, Meg.
Yeah, good job, Meg. So, yeah, enjoy your nap. You're in a hotel room for the people listening and not viewing out there. He's got the smoke detector behind him, the fire spigot. So you're in an older hotel, but probably a great hotel for a nap. And I know you want to get a nap, so go get that nap, big boy, and let the festivities begin. Did you watch The Irishman? I haven't yet. It's too long. I'm a busy man.
I'll send you a thing. This guy on the internet broke it up and watched it as a miniseries, 4 parts. It's like an hour each.
Okay, cool. Send it to me. Enjoy the festivities and go Who's.
Fuck you and your fake record.
Okay. All right. This is a PC show, so we're going to have to cut you off. Let's cut him off. All right. See you, Steve. Thanks, bro.